Not too far away from the world of insane speeds and fast bikes is one of humble commuters. It is in this world that TVS has deployed their latest contender, the Radeon 110cc bike. But does this Radeon have what it takes to make a name for itself in this cutthroat segment? We try to find out in today's video. Addressing the elephant in the room, or in this case, this jungle, yes, the TVS Radeon does look inspired by the Hero Splendor a little bit, but in the flesh, if you see, it has quite a lot of character of its own. The designers at TVS have etched in quite a lot of things which make it look appealing, like the use of chrome on the headlamp, the rear suspension and the exhaust. There is a strip of LED DRLs underneath the halogen lamp, and the cowl is nice and curvy. On the side, you will find this ribbed tank pad, and it gives this commuter a rugged appeal. You also have this handle which also has a hanger in it for carrying things. This is a nice and innovative feature, and at the front you can see there is a spot for charging your phones via USB. There's a USB port over there, which is again a feature that is not generally seen on a commuter in this segment, but TVS has opted to give it, and it gets good marks for that. The instrument cluster is unlike any other two-wheeler in the market. You get dual dials, and this white design is almost like something that you would find on a rugged SUV. The dial on the left has an analog speedometer, it has your odometer and a power and eco indicator. The one on the right has your fuel level indicator and the side stand indicator. Additionally, you can fit this bike with a buzzer, which when the bike is on and the side stand is open, it will make that noise. And in this way, you will never forget to leave your side stand open and have an embarrassing moment. Between these two dials, you have 4 more indicators which show you your neutral and the left and right positioning. The only eyesore would be this large nut that is on top of the instrument panel, and I feel that TVS could have easily done something to cover it up. I do, however, have a complaint with the rear view mirrors. As a person who's 6 feet tall, I felt that they were positioned a little lower, and even the arms don't extend out too much. I did manage to adjust it to my liking after a few tweaks, but I still could not help but notice that the mirrors themselves, they are a little small, and slightly bigger mirrors with longer arms could have definitely done a lot better. The handlebar, on the other hand, feels quite nicely done. The quality of the switches is good. I like this glossy finish that TVS has put, and it's in general a very nicely built handlebar. In fact, the entire bike feels like it has been solidly put together, and there are barely any hints of cost cutting. The headlamp, turn indicators, tail lamp are all unapologetically big and simple. In fact, the entire bike feels as if it has been designed intentionally to be simple and pleasing to a different set of crowd that is not excited by flashy colors and high cylinder counts. The 18-inch black alloy wheels again look really nice, and they complement the white color of our bike really nicely, and even when they're paired with some other color, they do look good. Since this is a bike that would be used daily, I would like to take a moment and talk about the riding position and the seating comfort. The cushion, as you can see, is quite long. 2 people can easily sit. In fact, you can even have a bag in between them. Then you also have this nice carrier which can again be used to carry additional items. Once you get on the bike, you'll notice that the riding position is upright. The handlebar is not too far away, the foot pegs are positioned neutrally, and you have just a very confident pose and a very confident stance. For long journeys also, this is going to be very comfortable, and the same can be said for the pillion. The cushion provides ample of comfort for longer journeys. The TVS Radeon comes powered by this 110cc 4-stroke Duralife engine. This engine pelts out about 8.3 horsepower and 8.7 Newton meters of torque, which is plenty for carrying two people in and around the city at or a little beyond city speed limits. The bike accelerates nicely. Only in the first gear did I feel that it could have done with a little more punch, but despite that, you can get a spirited run out of this bike. The engine is mated to a 4-speed transmission, and the first and second gears are relatively short, and you will be spending most of your time cruising in the third and the fourth gear. This bike can easily carry a person of average build up till about 60 kilometers an hour, and post that only will you experience a dip in acceleration. If two people are seated on this bike, then you can easily cruise between 60 to 70 kilometers an hour, and that won't be a problem for this bike, and you can go beyond that, but then the bike starts to feel a little out of breath. Nothing major, but just a little it feels out of breath. So going on highways is not going to be a major problem for this. It's not the ideal bike, but yes, it can do the highway runs if required. There is a small issue with the bike. As it does not have an auto choke feature, every time after a cold start, you will have to leave the bike running for a little while before you can use it. The suspension does provide enough amount of comfort for city usage. It's only when you hit a really bad patch of land do you feel that it could have been slightly softer and provided a better ride quality. But having said that, the rear suspension is 5-step adjustable, so there is room for tweaking and changing things up a little. Talking about the brakes, you have drum brakes both at the front and at the rear, and it also gets sync brake technology, or SBT. What SBT does is when you depress the rear brake, then it also applies some amount of force on the front wheel, so that you have a shorter braking distance and your braking is more controlled and confident. Now, the rear brake obviously functions quite well, but I do feel that when you use just the front brakes, you feel that it could have done with a little more bite. Going over speed breakers and potholes is not a problem because you have ample amount of ground clearance, 180 mm to be precise, and that is plenty for almost any kind of terrain that you would encounter. The 18-inch Duragrip tires from TVS that have been fitted onto this bike provide plenty of grip on tarmac, and even through corners this bike feels pretty solid to handle. The long wheelbase means that it is also very stable when you are going at high speeds. The engineers at TVS seem to have mastered the art of producing exciting exhaust notes. The TVS Radeon gets quite a deep rumble. Have a listen yourself. It's uncommon for bikes in this segment to produce such a deep noise, but this one does it, and kudos to TVS for doing that. And I don't think I would ever grow tired of that sound. The Radeon comes with a 10-liter fuel tank, but that won't be a problem because it gets a pretty healthy mileage. About 63 kilometers is what I have been getting, and you can expect anything between 60 to 65 kilometers to 1 liter. If you're really careful, then you can get 65 kilometers on 1 liter of fuel. Now that is great news for people who travel long distances to reach their offices, or for people who are out in the field throughout the day. I've had the Radeon for about a week now, and I've been using it daily. And in these past 7 days, there wasn't a single moment where I wished that the bike did a little more than what it could do. I didn't feel that the bike was majorly lacking in any department. Whenever I stopped at the red light, there was a high chance that someone would ask me what the model of this bike was and complimented how it looked. So the design is also getting thumbs up from the people. I feel that TVS is packing in quite a lot of features like the USB charger, the ample ground clearance, and that handle on the side. These are all nice additions and they make it worth the money that you spend on it. A little tweaking of the brakes, suspension, and maybe a change of the rear view mirrors, and this bike would turn nearly perfect. So to answer the question that I had in my mind at the start of this video, yes, this is a quality contender in the entry-level commuter segment, and I feel that TVS has got yet another winner at their hands. So that was our review of the TVS Radeon. If you liked this bike or if you liked our review, then make sure to hit like on this video. Comment down below if you have any questions or if you want to ask us anything, or even if you want to compliment us, then do so in the comments. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our page on Facebook, like our page on Instagram, and follow us on all our socials to be updated with what is happening in the auto industry. So until the next time we meet again, this is Akash signing off, saying bye bye, and hoping that you ride and drive safe when you are on the road.